Hey up there guys, Tommy here. Before I start the video, I just want to point out a few things. Unfortunately, some of the clips and the footages I've taken during this trip have been lost forever. I really do apologise. There will be certain clips which might seem odd to you, but if it doesn't seem odd, then that means the clip's missing. Particularly just me filming the trains and basically me filming the filming the trains I'm travelling on basically, but. Hopefully, you'll be able to understand and keep up. I do apologise whatsoever, and just so you let you know, when it comes to travelling, it might be a little while. This might be my last travel vlog for the year. Probably. Sorry. Yeah, as I was saying, this will probably be my very last travel vlog for a while, really, because this trip has... this trip has... I'll explain in the video, this trip has caused me a lot of problems financially, so... Yeah, I've lost a lot of money through this trip, so... I'm afraid it's going to have to... And I do apologise if there's not many travels, but as soon as I get funds back in, I'll be able to go in. Anyway, don't let me keep you joining. Enjoy the video. Thank you so much for your time. Hello guys, Tommy here. And today is a very special day because I am off to Ireland. Yeah, it's currently 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock at night. There had been a bit of an issue. You see, I was actually supposed to leave here at 12 o'clock, and I'd be in time for my hotel in Holyhead. So. Last minute plan. Had to pay an extra 60 quid for a later ticket, and I'm not gonna arrive at Holyhead until 2:30 in the morning when I leave now. But yeah, the idea is to spend a whole day in Holyhead, catch the sightseeing, see what there is to see, and traditionally have a drink at a pub in Ireland as a tradition. Anyway, it's gonna be a long, tiresome journey. Worst part is when I arrive there, I'm going to have to find somewhere to sleep, because my ferry won't be there. I'll arrive there at 2:30, but my ferry won't be leaving port until 9 in the morning. It's a total bummer. Right, my train's here. Let me get going. So let's get going. So I'm just halfway through Holyhead. I'm in Manchester at the moment. As you know, I've done so many things here. I mean, I've been here a few times. I even done that 24-hour challenge, if any of you guys have seen it, where basically I was driving between Leeds and Manchester. The challenge was to stay up all night, riding on a train, non-stop, and this is one of the places. Just before I get on the train, of course. Before I get myself a Pepsi, just for the bit. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night indeed, because... thing is, my train to Crewe had been cancelled, so now I have to take an alternative train. There's a train going to Chester, and luckily that it runs through Chester, so there's a bit of luck going my way. Right, that's enough of the rest break. Onwards to Holyhead. Holyhead is where, so the thing is, I'm going to Holyhead, and that's where the ferry to Dublin Ireland is. It's not until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, but I'm not left with much choice really, so let's go. So I'm just halfway through Holyhead. I'm in Manchester at the moment. As you know, I've done so many things here. I mean, I've been here a few times. I even done that 24-hour challenge, if any of you guys have seen it, where basically I was driving between Leeds and Manchester. The challenge was to stay up all night, riding on a train, non-stop, and this is one of the places. Just before I get on the train, of course. Before I get myself a Pepsi, just for the bit. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night indeed, because thing is, my train to Crewe had been cancelled, so now I have to take an alternative train. There's a train going to Chester, and luckily that it runs through Chester, so there's a bit of luck going my way. Right, That's enough for the rest break. Onwards to Holyhead. Holyhead is where, so the thing is, I'm going to Holyhead, and that's where the ferry to Dublin is, Dublin Ireland is. It's not until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, but I'm not left with much choice really, so let's go. So I've arrived into Chester. This will be last changing trains for the night until I get to Holyhead itself. The train's not for like another 30 minutes. I tell you, I'm getting sleepy. I mean, the worst part is when I get to Holyhead, I can still make. I've booked a hotel already, but unfortunately, I'm only going to be getting 4 hours sleep. I mean, yeah, I'm only going to get 4 hours sleep. Can you believe it? So when I'm on the next train, I'm going to try and catch as much sleep as I can. And yeah, just gonna. So I won't be filming much, I'm afraid. So once I arrive into Holyhead, next thing will be, the ferry itself. But you know the good thing about Chester? I was here a while ago, actually. Actually, I came here earlier this year, and yeah, I came here earlier this year, and I was just sightseeing. I was lounging. Well, just gonna have a little walk, keep me awake until the train departs, and then it's on to Holyhead before tomorrow morning. I'm off to Ireland. As I was saying, I've been here. I was actually here earlier this year. For those of you who don't know, there's a video on my channel where I'm just sightseeing. Where I'm sightseeing Chester. I mean, it was a good place to visit, actually. With all the older buildings and everything. Plus, it's got like Chester Zoo. I mean, it was a good place to visit. Worth the trip. It is midnight. It's actually 20 minutes past. It is 20 minutes past midnight, and I'm waiting for my train, and it's so aggravating. There's nothing open. How annoying is that? Not even a coffee stand or anything. Well, I don't need coffee because as soon as I'm getting on that train, I'm gonna sleep for a few hours because I'm not gonna get a lot of sleep tonight. I guarantee you, I'm not gonna get a lot of sleep. But I still manage. I've always put up with. I've suffered from insomnia, so I put up with all the lack of sleep nonsense. So, I'm on the last train. I've got a bit of good news and bad news. The bad news is the ferry has been so my ferry for tomorrow is going to be delayed by another 3 hours. So, because due to the weather tomorrow, which is a real sight of a bummer. But the good news is I'll be able to get a little bit more sleep, at least. Just the thing was, I planned to go to Belfast as well as Dublin, Ireland, but looks like I'll have to just, because of all the time I've lost, I'm just gonna have to stick with Dublin and any of the coastal towns nearby. But still, whether that's not my fun. Right, I'm gonna get some sleep now. Then I'm gonna go to the hotel and check in and be ready in the morning. We'll have to see. Good morning, guys. It's currently 10 AM on Friday. Just a little tired. I mean, luckily my ferry was delayed for another 3 hours, but luckily I was able to get an extra 2 hours sleep. Not as much as you see. Looks like the weather is a bit not too bad. I tell you, it was raining badly last night. I mean, my clothes were soaked and everything. Just gotta grab some. Right, I gotta get ready. I need to start heading to the port before my check-in time, and A lot of things got wet, I'm afraid. Right. Where are my shoes? Holyhead Port. This is where I'll check in for my ferry. Mind you, it was terrible weather. Got soaking wet once again. Oh man. It was a nightmare. Apparently I'm taking Sterling ferries, although Irish ferries looks nicer. Two ferries from the same port. Right, better check in. So I'm currently at the port. It has been over an hour now. The ferry is delayed due to due to the bad weather, obviously. That's a sign. They're going to be boarding soon, at last. But yeah, you know what? I might as well just have a drink on the ferry. I mean, hope the cruise is just as enjoyable. Sorry, well, not cruise. Hopefully the ferry ride's just as enjoyable. It's finally happening. So yeah, I just got a message with some more bad news. Apparently, my ferry for the way back has been cancelled. So I'm pretty much stuck in Ireland until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. What a bummer, eh? Just one thing after another. I mean, bad weather, late coming in, cancelled ferry. Sorry, delayed ferry, but. This delayed ferry won't matter now anyway. Man, can this day get any worse? I'll tell you, can this get any worse? But oh well, gonna enjoy Ireland while I still can. Gonna visit one of the local villages. Gonna have a drink on here, and then I'm gonna have a drink on Ireland. And the best part is, they've given me a £10 voucher as an apology for the lateness, so I can spend £10. I can spend £10 on whatever I want on this facility. Ferry's not going off for a couple of minutes. Behind me is Irish ferries, which the other ferry that also goes out. I don't know. You've got two ferries leaving at the same time. It's funny. Yeah, I'm weird. Just I've had not a lot of sleep at all. The worst part is when I get back, I'm gonna have to buy another train ticket on the way home. I've spent a lot more money than I anticipated this month, but it's important. I've never seen the UK this before. It's the first time I've ever seen it. I mean, last time I saw it, it was pretty dark. So far, I'm here just almost halfway between the UK and Ireland. And I have to say I'm enjoying this trip so far because I've got like a few free. Sorry, with my £10 voucher I got a £10 voucher, and apparently I've got a few free things. It's awesome. I'm loving this trip actually so far. When I get to Ireland, that's when the fun really starts. So I'm just about an hour away from Ireland. some from Perching Island, probably a little bit more. Unfortunately, now that I'm in the middle of the international seas, I have no internet connection or data connection, so can't contact anyone. What can I do? I managed to see a bit of Ireland, just a glimpse of it when I looked out the deck, but once Ireland's in sight, we'll be able to have a look. There it is. Ireland. Dead ahead. Just about an hour to go. We'll be on land soon. And that's where the adventure really begins. Look at that! Just approaching Ireland now. And 20 minutes spare. As you can see, back there's nothing in sight. Absolutely nothing. Wow. Just wow. I mean, look at these islands. There's one there, one here. What a sight, eh? What a sight.
Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen, the captain speaking. We're just approaching the port of Dublin now. We'll be coming inside the breakwaters in towards the River Liffey very shortly, and in another 20 minutes or so we'll be making the final approaches into the berth. So I'll take this opportunity now and thank you for travelling with us. Hope you enjoyed the crossing, and may I wish on behalf of the officers and crew you were safe first along the journey to destinations this afternoon. Do apologise again for the late running of the service. Hope it won't cause you too much inconvenience for your onward travel. If you would pay careful attention to any further announcements which will be made regarding this embarkation, and thank you once again for travelling with Stella.
Here I am, Dublin Ireland. So far I had a bit of a setback because when I got to the port there was like no bus service. I was like in a bit of a panic, so I've called a taxi, and it should be with me in a few minutes. I'm going to go to the train station, then I'm going to go. I'll decide whether to go to that location or probably stay around here for the whole evening. Then again, I could do both. Right, off we go. Yeah, so we're in the town centre. Now, time to ride on the trains. Just a ride. And then, later on, I will do the tradition. I'll drink from a pub. Sorry, drink. I'll have a drink here. Wow. This Irish train's incredible. Man, a really luxurious train this. Right. Here we go to Dunlagully, I think it was called. Funny thing, it turns out I took the wrong train, so I've ended up, I don't know where I'm going. So I've decided, you know, instead of going all the way there, I decided to go back to where I started. So a bit silly of me, but how was I supposed to know? Something doesn't make sense. Good frequency this, though. What was I saying? I'm not stopping here. Okay. You know what? Is it behind? I'll try again. I'll get back to Calais and then I'll find a way. I'm on the right train now. Look at that. The guy in the hat. They don't get much Irish than that. So I've made it into De La Gouille. I don't know how it's pronounced. Apparently it's a really good site. I mean, it's got a harbour and everything. I'll take some pictures later. Right now they've got believe it or not, they've actually got a Wetherspoons here. So they've got Wetherspoons here, so I'll have some tea first, and then I'll have a look around. Ooh, now isn't that pretty? Just had a drink and a meal. Oh my god! And it's raining again. What a bummer! And I thought Wales was bad. But look at this marina and everything. Man, this city is huge. Right. I have to say, this is amazing. I mean, I spent most of my vlogging just getting here, but I'm not going to get much vlogging of actually filming this place. Really. I mean, what a... Ooh. Now that looks attractive, that. I mean, look at that. Look at that design and everything. Oh, man. You know the best part about this holiday? Converting... Because at the moment, £1 equals 1.18 euros. So I get an extra... So basically, every pound I spend in this country, it's an extra 18 pence. It's 18 pence off. So I get... Okay, let me repeat. Sorry, I'm a bit tipsy. So currently, euro to pounds is 1.18, which means every pound I spend here, 18 pence is taken off. Brilliant, isn't it? Well, no, 18 to a pound, that is. So yeah, like for example, €5 in, basically €5 in pound converted to pounds is 4.20 or something. Sorry, 4.20 something. Can't think. Right. I'm gonna head back to the station, and I'm gonna head back into the town centre where all the real fun will happen. So yeah, hey guys. Just thought I'd take this moment to continue. I know it's not as pleasant as it looks right now. I mean, the thing was, this whole day has been a bit absurd. I mean, I was late coming here, and I was even late coming to Holyhead just to get ready for the ferry. I mean, it just went all out. It all went out of control. If I had arrived here 4 hours earlier than I was supposed to, I would have taken more sightseeing. Plus, in the daytime when you can all see, but unfortunately, no, it didn't work out so well. So, because my ferry tonight has been cancelled, I'm gonna have to stay the night in Ireland and then buy another train ticket again. I already bought like another one because when I missed my first one, and now well, who would have thought one day in Ireland wasn't very cheap. Like I said, it wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be like this at all. It was supposed to be me being here in the afternoon, sightseeing, taking some pictures, taking some footage of the scenic route, but me arriving in the evening But instead I arrived in the evening when the sun went down and now there's just not a lot to see. Make it worse, I've got to get up early in the morning to catch my ferry. So I'm going to miss some sleep. Again. I mean, I really didn't think this through. And when I got to Dublin Port, I made a mistake in not buying, not getting a taxi. I had to walk halfway back. What a jerk. But train ride's alright. But night's not over yet. I'm gonna go to another pub because I just finally had a drink in Ireland as a tradition. But now I'm gonna have one in a pub. Back in the central. Jaywalking's not illegal here either. That looks like a good place to drink, but I have my mind on something else. A place called Lloyd's. No, not Lloyd's the bank. Lloyd's the pub. They've got one here in Dublin. Somewhere. Let's have a look. That looked like a nice place to go then. Anyway, oh yeah, I went into one of the local shops and I was hoping to buy some Irish sweets, see if they compare them to British sweets. But unfortunately, when I looked in there, a lot of the sweets they had in Ireland are very similar to, pretty much the same ones we have in Britain. So it's not really worth it. But I did pass by a off license where I passed by a loft license, right, and there was loads of spirits to choose from. It is common that the Irish really like to drink. Anyway, I'm gonna have a few pubs and then, so I'm just gonna have a few more drinks and then I'm gonna call it a night. There it is, Lloyd's. I had a look in there, it's not as pleasant, so I'm going to try that other place instead, because I only want what's best. I may never come back here again, because I've got to make the living, right? So I'm very sorry, I've seen as much as I could, because it's dark, and I need to be ready for tomorrow, so I can't go anywhere else. I'm gonna have a few drinks and then call it a night. But to keep this all going, I'll probably keep filming, on my return trip. Something interesting might just happen. Yeah, pretty good sights. So the problem is with pubs, I kind of forgotten that the COVID restrictions are a little behind. Sorry, the COVID restrictions in Ireland are behind England's. For England. So a lot of the pubs are shutting early tonight, and these other pubs just reservations only. So what a bummer, eh? Oh well. At least. So I thought I'd do a bit of sightseeing before I head back to the hostel. So, hotel I meant. Hey guys, somebody again. So I'm finally back on the ferry after several hours of waiting and travelling. I tell you, I did not get a good night's sleep last night whatsoever, because the place I was staying at, it was a mix, and not to mention, sorry, it was poor conditions, and not to mention everyone outside was still up. Sorry, no one in Dublin was asleep. I mean, you could still hear people outside. I could barely sleep a wink. When I woke up this morning, 6 o'clock, just took the life out of me. And then I had to wait another 2 hours at the port for this boat to leave. And now it's another 5-hour journey back home now, on the train. Anyway, thank you for watching. I mean, this trip hadn't gone so great as it was planned. I'm not saying it's the worst, but it's definitely not the best either. I mean, at least, you know, I was abroad for a day. Just, I should have done things right. Never mind. Lesson learned. Just in Holyhead. My train's not for another few minutes, so I thought I'd just get something for the journey, because it's a long trip back. But you know something? Despite the craziness I've had in the last 2 days of getting to, you know, the trouble I had getting to Ireland and getting from Ireland, sorry, the trouble I went through just for a day, you know, just for one day in Ireland. All that trouble for one day. But you know what? Looking back, it was worth it. I mean, to be honest, there's probably other countries I could have gone abroad to, but I thought Ireland, because, you know, it's one of the only countries I thought that was safe. The only downside is, Ireland, it was still behind us in the COVID. In the COVID restrictions, Ireland was still behind. Ireland was behind us. That's a bit of a bummer, really. Wolves. That business went bankrupt years ago, when I was very young though. So yeah, looking back, yeah, it was all worth it. Just to be abroad for one day. Even if it's just for the one day, it's still worth it. Right. I'm gonna head back home. I think I'm gonna end the video here, because there's not much to see in Holyhead, because after all, Holyhead is just a port, it's just a town with a port. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all around. Goodbye.